And it is Monday morning. It is 11 a.m. We're actually on time because I wasn't gassing. Welcome to SPTV, everyone. It is so good to be back here in the Conservatoire de la Mar, welcoming everyone live on SPTV, on Facebook, YouTube, and the website to this. Start your day. It's Monday, of course, and we are here to kick your week off with joy, upliftment, and what's that word? Inspiration. Oh, yes. Welcome, everyone, and thank you all for coming along this fine, slightly overcast morning. Whenever you look up and see grey clouds, just remember the sun's still shining. We just need to find it, or at least be patient and wait for it to come. But that's life. So, friends, it is a great show coming up for you today. We, of course, have got a special announcement a little bit later on. We've got a list of all what's going on here on SPTV this coming week. And, of course, we've got the lovely Kate May and her tarot scope. But it would not be Monday without a special guest to talk around many things. We've got a book, we've got lots of spirit work, and we've got a Wednesday show. So please, please, please get ready for the wonderful, wonderful man. It's the lovely David Hale.
Hello.
Hey. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Oh, always fabulous. Good to see you. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
We are really, really looking forward to discussing the work. I nearly said something then, but I knew Richard would tell me off. Trust me, friends, we are going to have a whale of a time today. Move my camera back a bit. Okay, let me just just so I don't knock everything off. How's that for you, dear? Lovely. I just suddenly got all big-headed. We don't want that. Well, friends, it's great to see you, David, and you are going to be talking about your Wednesday show and your book, and the work that you do for Spirit, aren't you?
I will. I am. Am I? Yeah.
See, friends, I told you it's going to be a good one. And of course, betwixt and between us, we'll be giving messages out throughout the show. But let's kick off in traditional SPTV fashion by reminding people that we don't do stars. So please do not pay for stars on Facebook. I did notice last week that they blocked the comment that says don't. So I'll say it as often as possible. Yes, they did. They blocked the comment that said don't. It might have been potential spam, apparently. So please do not buy stars. We don't do anything with stars. We don't ask for money. We don't contact you directly unless asked to do so first. We do have, of course, VIP. And you can become a VIP for 37p a week, and you can get into lots of wonderful things going on. In fact, we'll be talking about one of those later. And there's always something wonderful going on in the VIP lounge, because community is the core, and you, my friends, are the core of this community. So don't forget to share, because if you don't share, there'll be no messages. That's what I'm told. Please share. Let people know we're here. Like, comment, join in. But most importantly for now, let's say hello and kick it off with a lovely Terry Louise. Good morning, Terry Louise. How are you? Good morning and welcome to the show. And Michelle Terrell. I hope I got that right, otherwise I'll be in trouble. Lacey Lawrence, good morning to you. Welcome to the show. Claire, welcome and hello. Good to see you. Bella Doshi. Bella, join me. Save my voice, because people will get sick of it within usually around about 4.5 minutes. Well, I'll say hello to Stace. You can say hello. Hello to Stace. Good morning. Over to you, David.
Dawny Walden, good morning to you as well. Thanks for coming on, watching from YouTube. Ronnie Bigwood, good morning to you as well.
Lovely. Good morning, Ronnie. Kelly Roquette, hello. Good to see you. What a lovely name is that, David?
Kazar. Oh, I like the name. Good morning. Oh. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Kazar. Welcome.
Stay sure. Good morning to you as well.
Lovely. Julie Ramsden. Good morning.
Stacey. Hello.
Another one.
Hello back at you.
And I better say hello to this one, otherwise I'll get in trouble, David. Okay. Good morning, Mother. I mean, Linda Brown. Good morning.
Yeah.
Kaylee Byrne, watch from YouTube. Good morning.
Good morning, Kaylee. Eunice Spinks. Good morning, my lovely. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh, hello, Kelly Rockett. Hello to you. Good morning.
So this is what I like about SPTV. Everyone gets very personal. Up close and personal. Nice. Nolene DeFree. Hi there. Hi.
Natalie Bentley. Good morning. Hello to you.
Morning. And Mandy Frogley. Would love to hear from someone. That's the plan.
Rhonda. Good morning to you. Nice to see you as well today. Thanks for being here.
Morning. Natasha Hanbury. Good morning.
Christine Davis, good morning to you.
Morning, Christine. Millie B, my bright and red friend of the hair variety, good morning to you.
Anne Davies, good morning. Hello.
And hello to everyone who has said hello and we haven't had a chance to see it. Thank you all so very, very much for joining us here today. And of course, today we are talking to David Hale. Now, if you don't know who he is, you're going to very, very much. Because Wednesdays are going to be very interesting, aren't they, David?
They are.
Tell us, what is it that you're going to be up to on Wednesdays?
So Wednesdays is my brand new show, and it's just entitled simply Midweek Mediumship. And anyone that follows me or seen me work before, they know I do keep it down to earth. I'm very honest with my mediumship. So that's what the Wednesdays is going to be. It's just going to be mediumship, connecting with your loved ones, but in a just a down to earth and real way, but a fun way. Because anyone that knows me knows I do work with humour, so it's always up and positive, having a laugh, because that's what spirit want, right? They want us to laugh.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the show, really.
Fabulous. So what I've already gleaned from our conversations before the show is that you do follow that KISS rule. That it's a rule that I learned in retail. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. What I'd like to know from yourself is, what do you think is the most important part about keeping things simple and down to earth? What is the defining factor for you? Why is it so important?
I think because when you do keep it on that level, I think people can level with you more, and it comes across for me more authentic. And I think that's really important for me, is that people see me as an authentic medium, that I'm not just, being airy-fairy and woo-woo. And look, there's not necessarily anything wrong with it, but it's just not me. And I think when you do keep it on a certain level, people will go, this is authentic, because there's none of this stars and rainbows and all that kind of stuff. It's just simple. I say it as I see it. I don't interpret every single thing that I see, because I say to people, at the end of the day, the message is yours, it's not mine. So I just say, and as long as they can understand it, that's important. So if I see something random, and people also know me as being quite a random medium, but that's how I like to work, because I say to spirit, if it's generic, I don't want it. If it's specific, give it to me. And again, when it is that way, I think people respect you more, because you are being honest. And if I get something wrong, I say, oh, I got it wrong, sorry. And I think people level with that more, I guess. I think that's important for me, and that's how I work personally.
Absolutely brilliant. Yes, I totally agree with you. One of the things that really grinds my gears, I suppose, is Do you not think that in this way of life we tend to try and, or on some level, try and go for the wow factor, forgetting we're actually talking to discarnate beings that people thought were gone? It's amazing enough as it is.
Yeah.
Let it be. Do you think that's fair? Do you think that's a bit harsh?
No, I think it's fair because at the very beginning of my development, it was always in my head that I had to be perfect and I had to give a perfect reading and every single thing had to be understood and this had to be accurate, that had to be accurate, until you do understand in yourself that, hang on, I'm communicating with someone who does not have a voice box. They haven't got a physical, there's no physicality about them. So I'm not going to get every single thing necessarily spot on. And I think, there are some readings where you don't need the wow factor anyway, because it can just be 10 minutes into a reading and that person's already got what they wanted to hear.
Yeah.
But then we still try and push ourselves to give this extra evidence, as extra this, as extra that, when actually the person's probably got what they wanted anyway. But I do feel that, I think for some of us, we do kind of put a pressure on ourselves, not in an egoic way, but I always want to make sure people get what they come to see me for. Do you know what I mean? I'm personally, I've always been like it. I don't like letting anyone down. But I think that's a self thing, I think. And it's trying to take that level of pressure. I know people have told me, look, take the pressure off yourself. And my mum says to me, look, David, you can only work with the tools you've got in your box. You can't pull something and make it fabulous and wow, 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 if that's not the reality of what's being communicated with you. That makes sense.
It really, really does. And Kelly Rockett chips in with, you're only human. You can't get it right all the time.
Absolutely.
Completely agree. I remember once seeing a demonstration of mediumship from Gordon Higginson, and he was relaying this information, very specific, gave names and job descriptions and everything, and nobody was answering. And he, like you said, brought a bit of humor in, and nobody knows you. Yeah, and
Yeah.
2 minutes later, someone put their hand up and said, I did know that particular person. That was their name and that was their job. Because, we are, as Kelly said in the first instance, we're only human. We can't always get it. We can't always remember everybody that's going to come through.
Absolutely.
And Kelly adds, your wisdom is powerful, David. Many solid reminders as well on my own journey. So, and this is the thing that I knew was going to happen, that the fam are making that connection. And it's exactly what you said, isn't it? About keeping it simple, keeping it down to earth, but having a bit of a giggle along the way.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've said to people, it's not that serious. I mean, yes, we communicate your loved one, so of course that's a serious part. But in general, I think people take themselves a bit too seriously, and sometimes you've got to let that go and just let it flow. And because I want people to feel the experience, not just hear it. And think, oh yeah, that's that person. But no, feel the experience, feel your loved one. Because anyone can go to a medium and hear evidence. That's fabulous. However, I want people to go, oh, I know that's that person. And I want them to sit there and enjoy, because if they're not getting a reading, you've still got an audience to take care of at the same time. So you still need to remember that as well.
Absolutely, yes. So, friends, get your questions in for David. We're kind of on the realm of inspiration today, and we'll see why a little bit later. And here comes a question. I was just about to bring out one of my own, and here we are. Karen says, Kaza, hi Kaza. Karen says, and skeptics, very good point. Skeptics jump on the fact that we don't always get everything right, but 8 times out of 10, and they don't recognize the hard work. And that's actually true, isn't it, David?
Oh, it is. You always, there are skeptics out there you're just not going to please. Yeah. And that did bother me. I've got to say, at the beginning of my development, I did question myself, thinking, do I really want to get into this? Do I really want to be a medium? When no, but you kind of got to let it go and say, just not going to please some of them. And you hear people say, oh, give me a name then. If you don't give me a name, then
yeah.
I'm like, names are not the be all and end all, because we've all got a name. That's not unique. It's a name. The unique things are the memories, the other bits and pieces that there's no one on earth that we're going to know. So if you want a name, I say to them, if they don't give me a name, you're not getting one. That's it. I can't
Yeah.
pull it out of them. But yeah, you just got to get on with it and just try and kind of zone out that external noise and go. Thought, well,
Yeah.
if you were to here trying to do it yourself, mate, I don't think you could. So let's just leave it there.
Oh, now there comes the sass. Love it. Brilliant. Sam Morgan says David is a fab medium, such a lovely person, down to earth, and you've got 3
Hello, Sam.
butterflies. So there we are. Question then, because I think many of us, I know I certainly have struggled with that skeptic attack, and I just want to thank you for everything you've just spent the last 30 minutes doing. But there's just this one thing I want to know. What inspired you to carry on in spite of that?
I think because it still interested me. I mean, growing up as a teenager, I would go to psychic fairs. I would watch the mediums on TV. I didn't have YouTube back then. That would make myself sound really old. I would go and actually see the mediums like Colin Fry, Derek, Tony, you know, at their theatre show in London. So it interested me. So even though, and that continued throughout my whole life. So even at the beginning, when I thought, do I really want to get into this? Do I really want to take all these? Something in me was like, no, David, just shut up. You just got to get on with it because you're given this ability. I don't call it a gift, I call it an ability for a reason. And because it was something that I was really passionate about and something I really wanted to do, I thought, you know what, I'm not going to allow those comments and people to stop me from doing something that I should be doing. And that was it, really.
Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Absolutely. And don't worry about the age thing, Dole, because when I started learning about spiritualism, there was no Google. I was a pound down the library that was under the shadow of Ely Cathedral as well, so that went down well. So don't worry about that, dear. Lacey Lawrence would like to know: is it true spirit will come through when they feel you are ready for it?
Yes. Well, in my view, in my opinion, yeah. And that's another question that I answered in my book as well, because people do say, like, how long should I wait for a reading? Or my loved one passed 5 years ago, they've still not come through. And there are many reasons why that can happen. But what Lacey said there is true, because spirit will understand that you need to be in the right place in order to receive that contact and that message. Because when something is still, like, when the grief is still so raw, what we want to do as mediums is to help with the healing process and for you to be able to understand and take the information so you can take from it and heal from it. But if your mind if you're still in such a raw place, it can actually be more detrimental, because ultimately you want that person here physically with you, and that can't happen. So when a spirit does come through and you're not ready for it, that can actually upset you more, and that can actually set you back in the grieving process rather than help you move forward. So, but spirit know where you need to be. You know, my own stepfather who passed 11 years ago now, he's barely come through. I know it's there, but it's barely come through. And part of me thinks, is it because that connection's too close? Is it because he wants to get a message to my mother? In which case, I'm not the right person to do that, because that link is too emotional. I can't go there.
No.
So yeah, so spirit, the infinite intelligence, right? They know when you're ready for it. That person's ready for it. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Lacey. What do you think?
Indeed, I think so. I agree. You know, it's really, really interesting, and I'm really, really grateful for your answer, because you commented right from the get-go. It's one of the factors. One of the dangers is in this way of life is that there's one answer for everything, but you're absolutely right. It's not true. There are numerous factors. That might be a big one.
Yeah.
And it is a really big one. But the other factor, of course, is that spirit person ready to come through?
Completely.
You know, so you're absolutely right. There's always more than one, reason for things happening, or in this case, not happening. But I totally agree that is a pretty big one. Pretty big one. Thank you, David. Now, the questions are coming in thick and fast. And noticed a word that you said, which we mentioned earlier, and I want to come back to it. But first of all, Millie B, I think if you bring even one bit of evidence through that the person takes, and it brings them comfort and a love, you know you're doing something beautiful for that person. Yeah, absolutely. It is. It is, as you said, all about doing the best we possibly can for that individual in that moment, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Do you collect people?
Collect people.
Do you collect people? Do you make contact with spirit people and they come back and hang around and say hello from time to time?
Not really.
No.
And
What
that's
about
only.
the humans on Earth?
Do I collect them?
Yeah,
No.
because I think you'll find that you will do. Uh, the one thing that I feel about SPTV is that it collects us,
Yeah.
and the community collects us. So there is a certain level in which I feel people get drawn to.
Yeah.
And although we are drawn to that fantastical, that wow factor, that magic, it's the honesty that keeps people around, which is why what you're doing and the way you work is so important. Um, oh, another good question from Nina Edwards. Is there a time limit after passing?
I've got some stories.
Go on. Let's have. You tell a story. I'll tell a story.
Well, this is the first time it's ever happened to me, and it was a bit, and it kind of it not freaked me out, but I kind of took me by surprise. I was only about a year and a half, 2 years into my development when this happened, and someone wanted a reading from me, and at that time I was doing like free readings for a year, just so I can develop and learn and practice. And a lady that I knew from Cambridge, because I used to live in Cambridge. So when you said Ely, I thought, oh, I lived in Cambridge for 8 years, and I didn't know anything about her family, but I knew her. I see it down the pub most often, and I didn't know anything. So I was bringing this gentleman through, and she knew exactly who it was. I was given evidence. Everything I said, she took, and there, from what I remember, there were really random pieces of information, and I got the information, and she took it as her as a father-in-law, her ex-father-in-law, who she was still very close to. So we did some reading, and she said, "Yeah, thank you very much. That's fabulous. And just so you know, he's not physically dead yet." And I'm like, "What? What do you mean?" She went, "Well, the reason that was so important and significant to me that you said he was okay is because he's currently in hospital on a ventilator. He's had his last rites given to him, and it's only the machine that's keeping him alive." And I didn't really know what to do with it, to be honest. Like, okay. And she was absolutely fine with it, because from what he said, and I don't remember what he said, that he was at peace and that it's okay that he's gone. Well, at least his spirit had left the physical. And shortly afterwards, they did turn the machines off. And it did take me back a little bit, because I was like, how does that happen? How, and it's happened once again since. But she still took comfort from that. So that proved to me that, there is no such time there. It's when spirit are ready to come through, and he obviously was ready to come through, he came through.
Yeah.
Backed up by the evidence that was him.
Absolutely. What a wonderful story, really. And I get your understanding of the moment. But you're absolutely right. And it's the same with what I've noticed with dementia patients. They get like a bus pass between the two worlds to protect the mind and to protect the spirit. A similar thing happened with my father when he passed in 21. I was with him when he physically passed, and I saw him go. And got a bit emotional, got a little bit, and I sat in the I stood looking out of the window in the waiting room, and he stood behind me telling me off for getting all upset about it. And I was like, no, I'm making this up. And my guide came in and said, Don't be ridiculous. Of course you're not. And as soon as he gave me the password, I knew that it wasn't, and it wasn't something that I was reaching for and wanting to, because I wouldn't have necessarily expected that quicker turnaround, I suppose, for putting it cold and bluntly. But a little bit more of a, shall we say, funny one. My guide passed in January to 93, and I hadn't even heard of spiritualism back then. The reason that I'm a medium is because I had a nervous breakdown and freaked out. I won't deny it, but I had an experience in the drama studio at school, of all places. This bubble of light walked through the door. And I remember, because I was doing a work experience at the time, so I know roughly when the date was. It was in the January of 93. And this bubble of light walked in, looked me up and down and said, "Oh, I'll see you later." And it wasn't until 1998, when I sat in development circle, this being came back to me, and turned out it was my guide. What I didn't find out until many years later, with the onset of Google, that in actual fact, the point at which that being had come to me was around about the time of his physical passing.
Oh, wow.
And because he was a working medium in his physical life, it obviously got a few steps ahead and was like, "Oh, I'm going to have a nosy round and see what I'm going to be getting up to," because he's a nosy bleeder. And he just come up and was checking me out to see what I was going to be like in like 5 years to start working with. It's like almost like I was getting another assessment that day. So it is really, really weird sometimes. And this is why, like you said earlier, I don't understand why people want to make the fantastical, the weird and the flowery. This is a really, really adventurous, wild and weird way of life.
Completely.
Now, I did say I wanted to come back on it, because inspiration obviously is the theme of the day. Your book.
Yes.
Tell us about it, please.
So my book, I've actually got a copy here.
Oh,
this is the one I made earlier.
Fabulous.
So my book, now, this was very much inspired, and because I never thought I'd write a book in a million years. So even at school as a kid, I didn't read. I can read, right? But it just never. Thought I'd just get that out of it. I can read, but I was either doing gymnastics. I was a gymnast as a kid, or I was dancing. I had music on, or I was doing anything. A book really had to catch my attention when I was a kid. So no, never did I think I'd actually write a book ever. And it was after my nan passed in about 4 years ago now, that shortly afterwards I kept getting a download in my head: write a book, write a book, write a book. And I'm like, nah, that must just be in my imagination, because I can't write a book. And my nan was an avid reader. Like, she liked her books, but I kept hitting, write this book, write this book. And I'm like, okay. So there's a point I gave in. So I started writing the book. Now, I didn't know what it was going to be, what it turned out to be when I first started writing it, but I knew I wanted to write a book which is going to help other people. And when I mean other people, it started off as being aimed towards those up and coming mediums, or those budding mediums that are not sure what to do, what to believe, what to look at, how to develop, and all that kind of business. And so that's a huge part of what this book is. But then it kind of not morphed, but I think it could also help people who are just spiritually inclined anyway, or have questions about the spirit world. Bless you. And so people have said to me, it's a book that you can pick up at any time. It makes them laugh, and it's almost like I'm sat next to them reading it, which wasn't the aim. I just wrote it. It's kind of written how I talk, really. So if you read it, hopefully you'll be able to level with it as well. So I think it's an all-round book just to help people. People have said it's like a reference guide. You don't need to read it from front to cover to understand it, because it's chapter by chapter, so that you can pick up anywhere. And people have said to me, I've read it twice already. Oh, fabulous. Because every time they read it, they might see something else in it, or they'll experience something and go, right, let's read David's book to see what he said about that. So it's not an autobiography by any means, but there are anecdotes, and there are parts of it. Parts of it mention my journey, so people can look at that and say, okay, it's not just me then, because Dave's experienced that. I'm not going mad because Dave's experienced that. And so I give examples of readings that I've done as well. Again, it's something that people can level with, and it's not. I didn't want. There's too many for me woo-woo books out there, and that's why it's all come down to earth, because it is. It's quite not. I won't say direct, but it's straight to the point. Look, there are a few curse words in there because I do swear, and that's it. But people like that because it's real. It's not me pretending to be this highly, religious figure. I'm not. But it just tells my journey so other people can take something from it and learn for themselves.
Yeah.
So that's what the book's about.
Absolutely brilliant. And where can we find this book? How can we buy it?
So you can go to Amazon, on all Amazon platforms, and Come Down to Earth by David Hale. Signed copies you can purchase from my site. It's davidhmedium.square.site, SITE. And if you want a signed copy, you can go there. Or if you're not bothered, you can have a just normal paperback or a Kindle version. It's an ebook version. Some people more like the electronic stuff, don't they? Then go to Amazon for that.
Fabulous. So you heard it here. Go get David Hale's book, Coming Down to Earth. It's available on Amazon, and I would imagine it's on all of the Amazon websites throughout the world, depending on where you are, because obviously there's .com.co.uk and all of the others.
Yeah, so a lot of the sales actually have been from the States.
Yes.
So yeah, so you can get it on there. Japan, Germany, France, wherever else they are.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Because we do have someone who we have someone watching from pretty much every country these days. But I do know of one in France who'll be very interested in buying that, I would imagine. And I'll most likely buy it too. It's funny you should mention that you originally came from Cambridge, because I recognised the name and the face and I couldn't place it. And then I suddenly, when you said you were from Cambridge, I thought, I know now, because obviously I've been my whole life in Liverpool and Ely. So isn't it a small world that we should end up
is
talking on here?
Yeah.
So where are you based now?
So I'm in Aylesbury now.
Oh.
But I didn't necessarily come from Cambridge. So I was born in London, North London, grew up in Luton. Yes. Someone's got to, and then moved moved to Cambridge, and I was in Cambridge 8 years, and I was a drag queen as well. So you might mention me in the drag. Dot Cotton, yes, I was one of the Florettes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
There you go. I lived in Cambridge for 8 years, then I moved to London, was there for 6 years, then to Aylesbury.
Fabulous. So quite a journey on its own. Speaking of journeys, I like the fact that you've referenced your journey in your book, because we can't, and I don't know what your thoughts on this, and it ties in with the next question. We cannot give people help or guidance, no matter how inspired by spirit or directed by spirit, unless we understand that experience. Yeah. So I think you're absolutely right to reference your own experiences. It's not ego and it's not a biography, because there's going to be a lot, especially after what you've just said, there's going to be a lot that's not mentioned in that book.
Absolutely.
It's gone in your life. But you it's that word, leveling with people. You can't level with people, and you can't gain people's trust unless they believe the words you're saying, believe the experience you've had. So I will be purchasing a copy and having a look. Question from Stay Shaw. How do you handle someone that is difficult recipient? As in, they say no to everything, tell you you're wrong when you know it's for them, or you know you are right?
Oh, good question. Stace, I'm quite lucky, touch words, that I've not personally had really any difficult clients, to be honest. So I'm quite lucky in that way. I know some people do get them, but I'm lucky that I don't. I don't know if I just don't attract them or whatever. But so I'm quite glad actually. But yeah, so it's never really happened to me. I think as I've developed though, you learn to trust more. I think at the beginning when you start learning and developing, when someone says no to you, you think you're wrong. And you think, how did I get that? And you do tend to beat yourself up a little bit. But through experience and through readings that I've done, I've learned to go, do you know what? I'm just saying it as I'm hearing it because it's given to me for a reason. So I'm going to give it to you. Quick examples. Again, one lady I was doing a reading for in Cambridge, as actually as I think it was video, so I can't remember. But I'd given her the reading and she understood everything. And I said, right, I can see your daughter in my head, but she's living. She went, yeah. Said, there's a baby there, isn't there? And she went, no. Said, has she not got a child or a baby or something? She went, no, she doesn't want to have children. So we finished the reading and I kind of said to myself, how did I get that wrong? And I did kind of have a go at Spirit saying, well, why did you give me that for if it's wrong then? Anyhow, a week later, she messages me and she said, I've just got to tell you something. Oh God, what have I done? And she went, my daughter's just come storming through the front door in a half saying, you never guess what, Mum, I'm pregnant. And she went to her, yeah, I know. And she went, how'd you know? She went, David told me. so, so I learned that, you know what, I'm just going to say it. There's only ever been one situation where I did have a guy, a lovely man, and I had two spirits. He couldn't take anything I said about either of them. So 10 minutes in, I said, look, I'm really sorry, but this is obviously not working. I'm either not the right medium for you or whatever. So I did finish the reading, give him a refund. I thought that's fair. And he respected that. Again, I wasn't sitting there fluffing up, let's pull this person, let's make this thing up. I said, look, it's obviously not working. You're not understanding what I'm saying. So let's not waste your energy and my energy. Let's just finish it here. And and here are some other mediums you potentially go and look at. And that's what I did. And that was it. But that's the only one that's ever happened.
Yeah. I have had this. I will be honest. I've had it's that element of the aggressive skeptic more for me. Like you said, whenever it's someone who just genuinely cannot accept the answer and the information, half the time you will get people get in touch and say, actually, it's happened, just like with your experience. For me, you will always know that they are never going to accept anything, no matter how accurate that information is. They are deliberately there to put you down and say no and rock your world. You're absolutely right, though, regardless of what the reasons are, you just can't let it destroy the trust between you and your helpers in spirit. You can't let it destroy the trust that you have worked so hard to build in the information that's coming through. And for every person who puts you down and says, no, you're a fake and a fraud, just because they can, there will be a dozen other people who will accept that information and will know that you are genuine. You just can't let it get to you. And it's funny you should say what you said. I once heard about a medium in a local church who came to serve, stood up, went through all the service, went through all the rigmarole, stood up and had nothing. Literally, there was nothing coming through. And he turned around and he said, I'm ever so sorry, everyone. There's just something wrong tonight. I either don't feel myself or don't feel well, but I have got no spirit people here with me at all. So I'm not going to make it up. I do apologize, and sat back down again. And do you know what? The congregation had more respect and faith and trust in that medium's work than, like you said, if it had carried on and fluffed it and kept it going. And that story has been doing the rounds for at least 10 years now, and people keep telling me about it. So I've heard it. But that just goes to show how much people trust honesty, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's the authenticity, as I mentioned earlier on.
Yeah.
Is if you're not feeling it, you ain't feeling it.
Yeah.
And I like to say the same to Stace. If you've got a really difficult recipient there saying no to everything, respect your energy.
Yeah.
Respect your time. If they're not not to say they're not respecting you, but at the same time you've got to look at yourself and go, this is my ability, this is my energy I'm using here, and if it's not gelling with the other person, then is there any point in carrying on with it? The answer is probably no.
Yeah.
And then you break that that connection and send them on the way and whatever else. But yeah, Stace, remember your energy, remember your time. And have that. I think it's about having respect for yourself as well, and going, you know what? I've got an ability. I know I'm right, but if they can't take it, then let's just maybe just kind of finish it here.
Absolutely. And also, just one final thought, which was inspired. Here's that word again, by something you said earlier. Sometimes we do try and make something out of that information that we're getting. So just pull it back to. If you get, I do it myself. If I get something from spirit and it instantly means something to me, I'll probably end off going, because I'm someone who goes off on a tangent. You might have noticed. I will go off on a tangent and give the wrong information. But when I get a no, it's not a, oh my God, I'm wrong. Or it used to be. But, oh my God, I'm wrong. It's, what have I done wrong here? Bear with 1 second. Right. Bring it back to that original information. Don't get carried away. Give, because we don't need to know. You do. And it's really important to just pull it back and just give what you get is the buzzword there. So again, thank you for that comment earlier that reminded me of that.
You're welcome.
I believe that it might be a good time to, what shall we do, Richard? We are now, I thought it was going to be, but I thought it's polite to ask. We are really excited now. She had a break last week, but we are back with the wonderful Kate May and her tarot scope. We'll be back right after this. Roll VT.
Hello and welcome to your week ahead tarot scopes. Now, I am on holiday, so this is my hotel room, so you have to excuse the decor. I was going to do it outside, but it's too sunny. Anyway, here we are. So we are looking at the week ahead for the 5th of June. What do you think then? We're going to go for Aries. Aries, you've got the Chariot. Now, the Chariot card indicates that good things are coming. Something good is coming back into your life, including your focus, including your drive, including your passions. If you've been feeling that you've kind of been off kilt a little bit, or your drive and focus has been off, this is a great card to indicate that good things are coming back your way. You're going to overcome obstacles, victory over adversity. Taurus, the Empress, things are growing in a beautiful way for you. There is growth, there is abundance. Spend time in nature, spend time with your family. This is a lovely positive card to indicate that there are some beautiful things around you, including expansion and growth with whatever area you want it to be in. Gemini, happy ever after, 10 of Cups. This is a lovely week. It is your birthday week as well, Geminis. A lovely card to indicate that you're going to have happiness, fulfillment, emotional contentment. You're just going to be feeling like you've got a 10 out of 10 in any area. Cancer, 4 of Cups. Now, you might be feeling a bit bored and fed up this week, Cancerians. You may feel like you're not in the mood to go out and about, you're not in the mood to socialise or take on offers, but keep your ears and eyes open, because as you're saying no to certain things, there will be one thing there that just really does float your boat, and you know what, you don't want to miss it. Leo, the Emperor, I love my head there, Emperor, things are becoming much more controlled for you, which you're going to like. You're going to be more master of your own destiny. It's going to be important this week, Leos, that you put your boundaries into place. Be firm but fair when dealing with other people, and when dealing especially with people that might try to control you in any way. Take the reins back, be master of your own destiny. There could be news around promotions and stepping up this week, Leos. Virgo, What is it you're weighing up? This card indicates that you're thinking, shall I do this? Shall I do that? There could be a bit of a loss this week, but it's almost like, or at a cost. There's a win, but at a cost. So whatever choices and decisions you've got to make, you could be walking away from someone or something, but there seems to be at a cost of something. So make sure that cost isn't a huge cost there. Sometimes though, a short-term loss is a long-term gain. Really think about, is things worth it, or is someone worth it or not? Scorpio, Libra, the Six of Pentacles. Fairness and balance is coming your way, Libra. There could be some voluntary work or charity work. If you're needing a little bit of extra cash, ask for it because you will receive it. Be careful that you're not being mugged off though with people. If you're giving money away, you may not give it back. Giving your energy away, you might not get it back. So be careful how much you're giving away. Try and get the balance there. Scorpio, a busy week for you. A weight on your shoulders, lots of responsibility, but keep on going because you're almost at the end of that difficult patch. Then you can offload everything. Be mindful that you don't take on too much more responsibility this week. Just keep going with what you've got. Sagittarius, the lovers, choices and decisions this week, Saggies. Things that are going to have a connection to other people. Now, if you're single, you might find you meet the love of your life. If you're in a relationship, then you may find that things are stepping up the level, or that you've got choices and decisions that's going to affect both of you. Be open and honest. Something deep is happening there. Capricorn, the sun's got to me. Capricorn, the Eight of Wands. It's a busy week, Capricorns. Everything might feel like it's flying 100 miles an hour. Probably is. So this week, take opportunities as they come in because they might not last for you. Although it's a busy week, Capricorns, everything will fall into place. So you may feel that your head is just whizzing around this week, but great opportunities are coming within that and everything will fall into place in the next 2 months. Aquarius, the Justice card. Be accountable for your actions. You may be finding that there is important documents, legal work that you're dealing with this week. There could be decisions that are being made for you that are not your choice or your decisions, but they will be final. Anything to do with important paperwork and document you could need signing or looking at this week, but be accountable for your actions. Put your money where your mouth is. Balance is coming. Last but not least, Pisces, Ten of Pentacles. Great security is coming your week, this week, Pisces. You're going to feel that you're blessed with everything that you've got around you. You're going to feel that you're more secure, so you can find there's a financial increase for you this week. Something good is coming together this week for you, Pisces, particularly.
And it is so good to have the lovely Kate May doing her tarot cast here on Start Your Week here with the wonderful David Hale. We've just been having a catch up on old times. It's been a really, really good conversation, and it has been so focused on inspiration, and we will come to obviously that reason. There isn't always good in this way of life, in the sense that there can be difficulties and there can be struggles and it's not all rose-tinted spectacles and sweetness and light. So Joanne has asked, lovely Joanne Lewis, hello darling, has asked, do you find that there are good and bad communicators in spirit? Do some spirit make you work harder for the information that you require?
Yes. Very short answer. No, there are. If the way I look at it is, if a person was not a great communicator in life, then they're going to be the same in death. And there are the more talkative spirits. Let's say they're more talkative in life, they're more up, and then they're going to come through and they will just talk at me. Whereas those that may have been quite more subdued in life, then they're not going to necessarily be talkative in the spirit world. They're going to bring that's their personality, right? They're going to bring up the spirit with them. So they don't necessarily make it difficult on purpose. It's more that's just them. So they may give me information in other ways, more clairvoyantly or clairsentiently, where the more talkative ones, they will be more clairaudient with me. So yeah, but sometimes I think it's important to say that if your own mind as the medium is not in the right place for that communicator, then that's going to make it difficult. It's going to be difficult as well. As we all know, mediumship these days is what we call mental mediumship. It's mind-to-mind communication. So if your mind as the medium is not really there that day, like you're a bit tired or I don't know, stressed or whatever, then that communication is also going to be difficult. But that's you making it difficult, not the spirit person.
Absolutely, totally agree. I hope that helps, Joanne. I totally agree. And you know what? There are going to be people come through, aren't there, that the recipient doesn't actually want to talk to.
Yeah.
I've had a couple recently who's like, I don't want to talk to them. Tell them to go away. Relationships are relationships regardless of the zone of existence and the state of existence. So, totally agree. And thank you for your question, Joanne.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, we've talked about Wednesday. We've talked about the book. If people want to know what David is doing, how do we find you?
So the usual social media channels, so Facebook, so it's David H Spiritual Medium. That's where most of my advertising and bits and pieces that goes on to. I'm working on a new website to make it easier for people, but that will come. So for the minute, Facebook's my main place where I put things up. Instagram as well, which is David H _spiritual _medium. I don't tend to put I don't use Instagram that much. I do put the odd poster on there and stories and things, but most of my stuff comes through Facebook at the minute.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Good morning, Glenda Marie, Psychic Medium. Good morning to all she says. So everyone, keep the questions coming in, and as you start asking questions, we will be giving out messages throughout the rest of the show. Bit of an announcement. 24th of June, Mr. Producer. He's been very quiet today, bless him. He's been very busy in the background, worrying what I'm going to say, I'm sure. But he's on the pause button. So the 24th of June, there is a special event coming up at SPTV. If people were paying attention, I'm sure they would have noticed that Richard covered Indigo Moon. It was last week, wasn't it, or the week before? It was Saturday. God, this weekend's just been so long for me, I tell you. So it was Saturday, Indigo Moon. There's going to be an event on the 24th of June, a special event, and the first part will be VIP access, and the second part possibly VIP access. The rest of it, of course, will be for everyone. There's going to be an attempted live regression in Indigo Moon in their venue, and so that's quite exciting and something a little bit different. And then in the evening there will be a demonstration of mediumship, and Matthew Stapley. Hello, Matthew, all the way from Canada.
Wow,
lovely guy. Hello, Matt. So yeah, 24th, wonderful live regression and demonstration meeting. Please stay tuned for more details and more information and firm details as they come through, and as Richard feeds them through to everybody, both in the VIP lounge, on the Facebook website, and no doubt there will be information on the web, on the actual website as well. We do use is it Facebook that's the spiritualist go to? I've got a website and Instagram, but rarely use them. It is literally Facebook and YouTube. Do you have a YouTube channel?
Oh, I do. Yeah. So thanks for
There we go.
reminder.
David has a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's David H _medium. Oh, and I've got a podcast as well. I forgot about that.
Hey, there we go. We go. So David's podcast, Busy Bunny, darling.
Yeah, lots of creatively. I like to be. That's my thing. I like to be creative as well. I've got that gene, I guess. But so podcast is called Coming Down to Earth with Spirit.
Fabulous.
So you can find that everywhere.
And what platforms is that available
on? Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, Anchor FM. So there's 4 or 5 platforms it's on.
Fabulous. So everyone, go and see what David's up to. It's fun, it's exciting, and it's down to earth. Yeah. Which, I can't, as a personal thing, understate how important that is, the being down to earth. And the proof is in the pudding. Karen has just said this has been great as usual, so informative. There we are, you see. So we have talked about your book. We've talked about obviously your website, what it is that you do. We've got a general feel for who you are and how you work. And we are going to be answering more questions. But I'm sure that people want to know what else is going on in SPTV land, as well, of course, as obviously watching your show on Wednesday. 8 o'clock, is it?
6.
6. Oh, a 6 o'clocker. So
Yeah.
I can watch while I'm doing the cooking. You see, now this is this is important for me because I have to cook. And there we go, Bev Ridley from Australia. Hello to you. Welcome, welcome. So we are really Canada, Australia, Scotland.
International, darling.
Absolutely. So in order to let people know what exactly is going on this week in SPTV, now I usually like to share the phrase with people. I don't like to steal it all for myself. And when I say, what has he got to do? You just say, roll VT. It's that simple. We let people know that we don't plan things behind the scenes here. Glenda has just said, love your work, David. Hope to catch up with you and Bill Hughes when I come over in August, September. There you go.
Fab. Thank you, Glenda Marie. Hope to see you. Yeah.
There we go. So we're going to find out now what's going on in SPTV for the rest of the week. So what has Richard got to do, David?
What's Richard got to do? What?
Roll VT.
I roll VT.
I always do. It's becoming a catchphrase.
My Spirit Life is a free online interactive magazine for those who have an interest in improving their spiritual lives. Authors can upload images, videos, and audio clips to their own articles. The public can place comments, rate the article, and follow the author. All articles are vetted before being published. For more information and to place your own article, please visit myspiritlife.co.uk.
MySpiritualDirectory.com is one of the fastest growing online free listing service. Our search directory offers geolocation feature, rating ability, review system, map location, customer comment, YouTube video, gallery, social media sharing, direct contact with the lister, simple online booking and payment system. It's free to register and use. It even creates your own mini web page, which you can update at any time, and yes, it's still free, no monthly or yearly fees. 100% free. Creates your own profile page. Add social media and other links. Add a mini gallery and a YouTube video. Rating, reviews and comments. Includes online booking and payments. So, if you're looking for a medium or a reader, even a church, maybe a healer, or any other spiritual service, then visit myspiritualdirectory.com.
Tonight from 8 p.m, Robert D. Lee demonstrates his mediumship abilities while offering free readings to our viewers. Tomorrow from 6:30 p.m, SPTV Community Showcase offers our viewers the opportunity to have their own show, be it readings or their own thoughts and opinions. Ellie Charles demonstrates her mediumship and divine inspiration from 8 p.m. tomorrow night.
So, busy week, my friends. Busy week. We've got the lovely Robert Lee tonight. And then tomorrow on the showcase, we have Vanessa Smallwood. And of course, don't forget, on Wednesday at 6, we've got David Hale, who is still here with me. I haven't driven him off with my constant dribblings. And we are going to talk about that theme. This is really quite important, and when you see something, David, it grabs you, and you think there's going to be more to it. And this is something that Richard was inspired to do, because at the core of everything we do is inspiration, truly. Richard was inspired to create a video, and I know it is going to touch the hearts of many people, and I've got a sneaking suspicion that it's very, very needed right now. It's a little short video that Richard thought about and created in the very wee hours of this morning, because he hasn't got anything else to do, sleep, doesn't factor into his category these days. But Richard has created this video that he would like to share with all of you at home.
Hello, Mummy. I may be gone, but I am still here. There is no need to cry for me. It was my time to go, but I will wipe away those tears when you do think of me. When you see the robin bird, it will be me saying hi. That gentle breeze that crosses your face, that will be my angel wings. The feather you find when you're down and in need of support, that will be me. I will kiss you just before you go to sleep, and I will be there when you wake up. I will hold your hand when you're alone, or when you're scared. Be strong, I will be there when you need me. Say hi to Daddy for me, I miss him too. I will always love you, Mummy. I am now your real little angel.
And we're back. And thank you for creating that, Richard. David.
Yes.
We see, these videos, these montages. How important are they at disseminating the truth of spirit?
Well, it depends who creates them, I guess. And it's about your discernment. I think when you look at these things, you have to discern or what you resonate with, in fact, because that video, it's a gorgeous video, and I think that's going to touch a lot of people. And I think you can just see the words, even the graphics to it. You can see it comes from the heart. So it's those kind of videos you can look at and go, do you know what, that comes from someone who's been through it, who knows, who is not sharing it because they want a like or this, that, the other. They're sharing it because they've been through an experience and they want you to get something from that, which is positive, which is whether it is to remind you that that loved one is there, whether it just triggers you to smile, knowing that your little angels are there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think some of them are really beautiful, especially that one which it just plays.
Yeah. And the proof of the pudding is in the comments coming in. Kelly Rocket says, well, thanks for the tears, Richard. And Stace, Lordy, now my vision's blurred again. Nolene DeFree, oh, that's beautiful, Richard. There's lots of hearts and prayer hands, so moving and beautiful from Rebecca Whelan. It's Millie B. Oh my God, beautiful. They say a picture says 1,000 words, but when you add words to it, even more so. The comments are just flowing, and it's giving people lumps and bumps and lumps in their throat and goosebumps. Richard created that because he was inspired to do so, friends. So if it touches your heart, if it means something to you, know that those angels really are reaching out, and in particular, that breeze on your face. That's the one that got me. So thank you for creating that, Richard, and putting it out there, because I think it does make a difference to let people know. And so we are going to throw in one more question, but I've got a funny feeling I'm connecting with her, so I'm going to let you answer the question while I link in with her, if that's all right. So she says, I would like to know do animals have the same energy souls as humans, even though we can't physically communicate the same? do we all go to the same place when we pass?
My belief, Millie, is yes. The animals, they are living beings, and so yes, they do. And if you look at, that your animals, they've all got their own little personalities, and I believe that part of that comes from the soul. So absolutely, our animals do have souls. Whether there's the same as humans, I don't know the answer to that, but either way, they have a soul, they have their own spirits, and yes, when they do go to spirit, they do go up with and meet up with your loved ones that are in the spirit world to look after them, and that's been my experience when I've had animals communicate through myself as well. So my belief is yes.
Absolutely, totally agree. And in actual fact, well, okay. We're going to do some readings, as I said, and I want to kick in. I've got three beings with me instantly. And instantly, the first one that came through was the eyes of this animal, as though it would have always, and I just want to come up to you and just push my nose into your face. So all you can see literally is these eyes. But there was a hand on the neck, or I believe it was a dog, probably something along the lines of an Alsatian. And there's this small hand, as though there is a child in spirit with this dog that would connect with you. Both of them would connect with you, even if they don't connect with each other. But I do get the feeling that there's this hand on the neck, as though I know this animal. But they both come through with a lady who is kind of like in charge of the communication. And as she steps forward, she has got big hair. It's well done, it's well styled. When it was flat, it was just flat, but when she had it done, when she had it made up, it was just really, really big and puffy and full and voluptuous. And this lady in her physical life would have been, quite glamorous, actually, when she dressed herself up. I do feel a motherly, grandmotherly connection with this lady, and I do know as she comes in, when people first saw her, she would come across looking maybe a little bit stern, perhaps quite formal, but she carried herself beautifully well. But the way she comes in with this dog and this child absolutely has this affectionate joy and kind, and she's got this really, really intense, fun, electric energy that she can just look at you and make you melt. And that's why she's bringing these two with her. I hope you can understand this, Millie B, and that you're still listening. I'm sure you are. But if you could let us know. Thank you. Tiger, your best friend. Thank you for that. So it would have been a memory link that he's remembering of that. I do apologize. It would have been you that was the hand on the neck, not a child in spirit. This lady, as she steps forward with this dog, that would be great, right? She's coming forward because she wants to remind you of the joy of youth. She wants to remind you of the joy of just connecting for the sake of connecting, of love, of compassion. I know that she's giving me this feeling that there has to be reason, there has to be cause, but there doesn't. She reminds me to remind you that in order to move forward in your life, you just have to go with it. You just have to let go and stop looking for reason. Just whatever it is that's going on with you at the moment, stop looking for reasons to validate or excuse. You know what you want to do. Just get on with it. And sometimes you've just got to, as David said, when he was talking about his book, actually, just that information has just got to that feeling. You've just got to go for it. You've just got to live it. You've just got to be it. Plain and simple. Stop looking for reasons and just walk that path, because you will drive yourself nuts if you do not. So do take the love of grandma and this message. I hope it helps you in this current phase. I know that you've experienced a lot in the time we've known. I know that much of it has been resolved, but there's still a lot that needs to be dealt with. And I feel that this is what this is connecting to. So please step forward. Stop looking for excuses and reasons and just do it. Get on with it. You know what you need to do. And I know that Tiger this Alsatian that will be, if you close your eyes and you see those eyes, know that he is around looking after you, to confirm everything David said about your question. And I'll say God bless you and hope that was all right. I'll stop talking now. Millie, thank you. I understand. I always say I was happiest when I was a young kid before all the madness happened, and when I became older, I know why she brings that. Thank you. At least it's placed and you can understand it, and you can start doing something with it, my love. So do have the strength that you've got within you. Just go for it. Get on with it. Do it. Be joyful. Be happy. Live. And I'll say God bless you, Millie. And now I'll breathe. Sometimes I forget to breathe.
That's not a good thing.
No, not really. So, David will now start tuning in with however he works.
Well, I have got a lady with me already.
Excellent.
Okay, because I'm sat here and I've got a woman tapping on my shoulder, and she keeps tapping on my right shoulder. Now, as I see this lady, this is not a big lady here. I've got quite a short lady. I feel quite a slim lady as well. And I do feel quite matriarchal with this lady, I've got to say. She feels quite straightforward, a bit direct. She didn't take no messing at all. And what she's doing, she's got a pair of pan lids and she's banging them behind me. So I feel like that if the kids were playing up, or if someone wasn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, she'd that's how she'd get their attention. She'd say, "Oh, get up," and she'd bang these 2 pound lids together. Your nan used to do that, Richard. Well, let's see, because that is that motherly nan figure that I've got, but she is doing that. I do want. She does feel like she's trying to give me the month of May here, whether it be a birthday, passing, anniversary, but the month, I don't think it's a name. I feel it's more of a month she's trying to give me here as well. She would have been well kept together. She presented herself very well. You'd never see this woman in any scruffs, anything like that. Very well kept together. And it might sound a bit of a cliche, it might sound quite generic, but I'm going to say it because I'm being shown it. I do feel like I am in the kitchen quite a lot. I'm not cooking though, but I am in the kitchen because she's got these pan lids that she's just suddenly got out the cupboard, and she's like trying to sort people out, like bang, like. So that's what I feel like I need to say with her as well. What else are you trying to give me, my darling? I do feel like she's trying to give me a name, and I not quite. It sounds like Joe. There's the connection to Joe. I don't know if it's Joe or Joanne or Jodie, but there's that kind of name I want to give there as well. Now I have to say I've seen Stacey's comment there. So Stace, I do feel pulled there. So Stace, if I can work with you for a second, that's right, my darling. Because you said pan lids, short, slim, her birthday was May, fabulous. So Stace, let me continue to work with you. And if you'd understand also, Stace, the personality of the character that I've got, she's a great woman, but she's strong, this one, and she knew there's no agenda with her. You knew who she was. She knew who she was. No messing. And she feels to me very organised, gets stuff done. Doesn't leave things to tomorrow. It's not that kind of, I don't know, manana mentality. It's the opposite. It's get things done today, very structured. So she's always in the kitchen. It was the heart of her home. Okay. Now what have you done? She's now put the radio on, Stace. Why do I want to call it a wireless? That's a really old word. So not one that I would usually use. But I've got used to say the wireless, but I'm seeing it as a radio because I've got a radio on. I've turned the dial and I've got music playing in the background. So there would be that connection to this radio or wireless that she had. I do for there's music on in the home as well. Now, okay, to me, Stage, yes, very strong and matriarchal. I can definitely feel it. At the same time, Stage, she feels like she was like a mother to multiple people. But I feel that maybe that community feeling where she would look after people, and I almost want to feed people. I want people to be all right, and it's almost like she wants to still keep them on the straight and narrow as well. So there is this part of her that feels to me quite nurturing and quite maternal. All right, so I want to bring that through as well. The radio wireless was her Okay, fabulous. So that's obviously important for her to show me. Okay, what is showing me now? All right. Now, Stace, I've got to give you looks to me like a handkerchief, because what I feel like the lady's saying to you is wipe the tears, or no more tears. So she's passing this to you to say, someone's saying, don't worry about us because we're all right. And yeah, wipe the tears. Stop. And she's been quite strong about it. Stop the tears. Because I don't feel it's an overly emotional woman here. But it's almost like she's saying, no, pull on my strength, Stace. And don't pay attention. I can't say that word. But don't pay attention to those people. She did put another word in there, but I'm not going to say it. That you need to, and we said it earlier on, this is not necessarily her word, it's a modern word, but I'm going to use it because it's just how I'm picking up in my mind, is that you do you. You focus on yourself. And I want to use the word development as well. Oh, she always had a hanky. Oh, fabulous. That'd be why she's showing it to me. Yeah, because it wasn't a tissue, it was a hanky. And you focus on you focus on your development, and you focus on the work that you need to do. It's like saying, don't be off put by other people that might be in your ear, right? And I feel that is why she's come through with that message, because she really wants to get your attention and to give you that push forward and that confidence that you sometimes lack within yourself. So it's like, take her strength, because she is a strong one here, and take that, apply it to yourself, and move yourself forward, and zone out all the exterior noise. And Stacey, I think that's perhaps where I want to leave it with you, as well as obviously giving you her love. You know that anyway, but I feel that's why she's come through. All right. So Stacey, hope you can take that from her. Thank you.
Well done, mate. Lovely. Thank you. What a wonderful message there for Stace. And yeah, brilliant. Excellent stuff. It's a good day today. Good day. And Stace says, I definitely can take that about others being in my ear, knocking my confidence. Well, I'm sure there must be a version in those days of this lady that would have been along the lines of you do you. Like you said, that probably wouldn't have been so polite. Do you actually find that they try and bait you, in some of them in particular, try and bait you into saying naughty words?
Oh yes, if that's their character personality, and I do say some. If I'm doing a church service, like, no, that's. But then when I say that, I do say it out loud, because people know what I'm communicating to.
There are ways without doing
it, and the recipient knows exactly who it is, because they know that person in spirit is trying to say something to me that I can't say. So they know that's their character. They know it straight away.
Brilliant. Excellent. So, Mr. Richard, who's next? Oh. Yeah, chuck some names. There we go. Thank you. Sheila Mangan, are you still there? Sheila Mangan, are you still there? If you are, please let us know by making a comment, giving a thumbs up, or maybe even a share. I felt drawn to you as soon as I linked in. So if you could just let us know that you're still online. Oh, lovely, thank you. Instantly I'm made aware, thank you, hello Sheila. I'm made aware of a gentleman stepping forward, and towards the end of his life he didn't feel great. Obviously, depending on how people pass, that could be a cliche, but it's almost like you could see a decline before it even happened. There would have been some form of awareness. I am clutching at my chest here as I'm with this gentleman, and I do feel it shooting down my arm. So I'm feeling that it would have been something to do with heart. As he comes forward, I don't feel like he made a great age. Certainly not as much as, you know, the what people would deem average, and there is this youthful vitality to him. So even though there is this, I do still feel that fatherly bond, that parental, at least that parental connection of where I would have been, you know, nurturing and growing and evolving you. That's an important word I had to use. I rarely use it. But this gentleman, as he steps forward, so I'm feeling the heart, I'm feeling the decline in health, I'm feeling that parental feel, younger than he coulda, shoulda, woulda. And there is, however, once he's got rid of all of this naughtiness about him, which is always exciting on a live show. But there is this naughtiness about him, and I don't feel naughty as in the language, or at least not with someone he's only just met. But there is just this excitement and this joy and this wanting to bring you up in every single, you know, encounter, as he puts it. And this is one such encounter. It's almost like he's done this before, so I feel you would have had either a message from him, you know, recently or in the past. But whenever you two came into each other's orbit, it was like, oh, watch out, everyone. You know, these two, they really do bounce off each other. And it's that kind of relationship. So I hope you can understand who this is. Just let us know in the comments. Thank you. I'm seeing reasonably short hair. It was always noticeable when it started growing out, because he usually kept it a certain way. He's not the kind of man to have changed his hairstyle more than 2 or 3 times in his lifetime, let alone a year like we do now. And he's coming across as quite casual, but there's still this sense of smartness about him, even when he was casual. So, you know, an unbuttoned shirt, there's something to do with a really old belt. It may even someone still has it as a connection there with him. So I hope you can understand that anyway, Sheila. If it's a no, it's a no. But I do feel this really strong connection with this gentleman, and this belt is important. So I'll give that to you. What I can say to you is that moving forward is important in your life right now. You haven't been in, well, that's not fair. He says that there's so much that you've been moving forward in, but there's that one nagging thing that you still haven't dealt with, that he's come forward, and he's saying, you know, he's got his hand on his heart again. And so I don't know whether it's emotional or what, but with hand on heart, he says, just deal with things, my love, deal with things. And I will say, God bless you, and hope that was all right for you. So there we are, another gentleman through. David, it's oh my God, I can't believe I'm about to say this.
What?
David, it's over to you.
Fab. Right, I have got a gentleman already popped in. Again, not quite sure I'm going, but here we go. I know this is a grandfather. This man reached a good old age, I want to say. Don't know what age that is, but I just feel a lot. I don't feel like I'm in my 60s. I don't know if I'm even in my 70s. I might have got a little bit older than that. As I see this gentleman, what he's doing, he is sat in his armchair, and I'm watching one of the grandkids perform for me. None of the grandkids might do a little bit of a dance, or granddad, or sing a song, whatever. And he's sat there and he's clapping. This is a very proud granddad I've got here. And then he's clapping and he's smiling. And the way I see him as sat in this armchair, he he's very much, I feel, of the old school. So I don't have a man here in a pair of jeans or tracksuit bottoms, right? I've got trousers, I've got the shirt, I've got a cardigan on, and is happily, and he seems quite a quiet man, but he's happily sitting there clapping the little person that's dancing in front of him. And I feel like it is definitely a female that I want to come to with this one. I do feel like it's given me the month of August as some kind of anniversary, the birthday party, or anniversary. Okay, it's showing me balloons, so that's my symbol for there's an anniversary coming up. Either it's just happened or there's an anniversary coming up. So just randomly showing me put balloons in my head. What else is he doing? Now, I don't tend to get conditions or how someone passed. To be honest, they don't talk to me about the death really. That's not how they work with me. So I'm not sure how he passed. But he seems quite a happy man, very laid back. I also feel he didn't want to be a burden to anyone towards the end either. That's just his personality. I do feel there was a peacefulness about his passing as well. That's just how I feel. I don't feel anything else apart from that. And he really wants the person who I'm coming to really find the fun in life again, because there's a lot of healing. I'm getting the colour green being flashed at me, and that's my symbol for healing that is definitely coming in here. And the person that I'm coming to really needs to be cheered up, and they really need to know that their loved ones are not so far away. They are still there. And it's like, I've got to tell you that Granddad's here, and there's a lot of excitement coming in from him as well. And I feel like it's telling me that since he's passed over, he's found his mobility again. So towards the end of his life, I feel like there were issues with him getting around. Yes, that could come with age, but I just feel like he didn't spend a lot of time up. It does a lot of time sat in a chair. So was it Dawny that I just saw there?
There was, yeah.
But if I need to go to but Dawny, I'm pulled to Dawny actually, so I'm gonna stick there. So Dawny, if you can understand what I'm saying. So Dawny, let me know if you could also understand the personality and the character that I've got here as well. Now I do feel like before he got to old age, he was quite an active man as well. I do feel like I'm laughing, I'm active with the kids. I don't see a man that would want to sit down doing nothing. I feel like he was active beforehand. I am seeing a birthday cake as well. He used to walk the village every day and look fabulous. That's how I feel it, because he was on his feet. But just so you know, again, Dawn, in the spirit world, he's found those feet again. All right, so is active back to where he used to be. There's a birthday cake. So I don't know if there was a special birthday with a birthday cake with loads of candles on it, but it's just showing me that can be symbolic for me, but I don't feel it's that. I feel like there is a memory of having this party that everyone got to. I've got these big candles that don't seem like ordinary candles. I don't know if there's like a sparkler. You can get those indoor sparkler things, can't you? Sticking a candle, sticking a cake, I should say. It looks like that to me. That's what's showing me. But John, just where the time's on him. He just wants you to laugh again. I want you to find that joy in life. And that's very much coming through the healing that I'm seeing, but I just want to put the colour yellow around you as well. And yellow for me is symbolic for happiness, joy and laughter, and putting that positivity back around you again. It's not giving much else here, Dawny, so I hope you can understand everything else. Oh, and I know you've got glasses in your picture, but it's showing me a pair of eyeballs here. So I don't know if you've got to get your eyes, get your eyes checked, or there's something wrong with your eyes, but maybe there's an appointment that you need to make coming up. That might be what it is. But I'm also seeing really sharp blue eyes. Someone's got really clear, stunning blue eyes, I've got to say. I'm not sure if that's him or someone living, but I've got to draw attention to that person as well. Okay, that gives you secrets away. And you need to eat better. You need more vitamins in your diet, love. It's showing me oranges, so I know that's symbolic for me to make sure you get the right stuff, fruit in you, all right? And Dawn, I hope you can take that. I'll leave that with you. There you go. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Fabulous. Wow. Well, thank you, David. Do you know, it's been a real pleasure talking with you. Dawny says that she can take blue eyes and need to eat full stop. Yes. And bring in the yellow.
Bring in the yellow, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Helen.
Oh, and Helen also says, Richard, can you see my post? My mum had bright blue eyes.
His daughter.
His daughter. So there may well have
Been a double link there.
Double link there, and you know, I think it's important to acknowledge that you know, the world of spirit, they can be crafty sometimes, and will piggyback each other.
Yeah.
To make use of this format.
Absolutely.
Is brilliant. David, it has been an absolute pleasure sharing the screen with you. You know what? I'm going to be completely honest. It is so nice in this modern era to meet someone who is down to earth, full of beans, full of joy, and you know, just wanting to get on with the work.
Thank you.
It truly restores my faith in this way of life. And you know what? I'll talk about that another day. Thank you so much for coming on. We look very much forward to seeing you at 6 o'clock on Wednesday night on SPTV.
Yes, thank you. And it's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me on, Nick. It's been great. It's been really good. It's
been fun. And you know what, reminding us all how small this world is as well, with, you know, turning out that we've trod the same streets potentially at the same time. It's just that I can't remember. But that's another story. That's for another story. Day. Thank you so much, and really, I know that everyone's going to have a whale of a time on Wednesday at 6 o'clock on SPTV on Facebook and YouTube and the website. We of course do have the wonderful Robert Lee tonight. Bev Ridley says, "I think you're amazing."
Oh, thank you, Bev.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Couldn't agree more. And thank you everyone at home for sending in the questions. Thank you for this. Kelly Roquette says, "Thank you for the session. I was looking forward to it, and again, didn't disappoint. Much love."
Thank you, Kelly.
Always, Kelly. Stacey Lawrence, lovely to watch you both on this dull Monday. See, Richard's got sunshine. Richard's got sunshine. So if you're free to travel, get your backsides down to the south coast. It's where the sun shines at. Joanne Lewis, thank you. Richard, Nick, David, Terry. Stace says thank you for bringing Grand through. Well, thank you everyone for joining in and being part of the conversation. Of course, a big thank you to Richard, who makes this happen week in, week out, day in, day out. And thank you to everyone for being here, being part of it. We are off now to catch up on old times, to talk about plans for the future, and to do all the other things that we have to do on a Monday. Keep your day bright and breezy, keep your day fun, but most of all, start every day as you mean to go on. So from all of us here at SPTV, good night, God bless, good God, and from David too.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.